and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So I found this video, and I also want to acknowledge a story that was also covered on the Jimmy Dore show. And it proves my point that corporate media, they hire sociopaths. They hire people that are part of the Democratic and Republican Party establishment. We got jag-off politicians that are lying to us. And yet when we have truth tellers like Hardlands Media, Convo Couch, Revolutionary Blackout Network, the Mikasu Casa Network, we got Frank Analysis, Jackson Hinkle. Again, huge shout out again to Jimmy Dore, speaking truth to power. We got Chicago Corner, okay, going to give a shout to our independent media network too, But, at the end of the day, what's the pushback that we see from the coveted blue check marks or larger outlets like TYT or Majority Report, or even corporate media as well? They smear people as grifters or liars. Now, I found this satirical video from Turncoat Don. Thought we'd just add a little humorous note before I play a video that Glenn Greenwald posted on his Rumble account in regards towards just how sick corporate media truly is. Because, again, the establishment media lies to us all the time. So, here, let's play this fun video first. Shout out to Jimmy Dore. Keep speaking truth to power. Let's play it.
China's
I said about when they bailed out the banks in 2009 and they gave trillions of dollars to the bank. Why don't they just give us the trillions of dollars? We'll put it in our bank. Why wouldn't you say every person with a social security number, you wire money into their bank account? Hey, this is the part where I tell you where our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then I would tell you to go join our premium, but nobody has a fucking job. So why don't you just enjoy the video? It's almost Christmas. In the middle of a deadly pandemic, in the middle of the greatest economic downturn anybody's ever experienced in their lifetime, and he's still, give me more money, Mr. Gold-Plated Healthcare. Send me money. Not send money to AOC or Rashid or whatever. Send money to the Young Turks. I hope everyone sees what's going on. And I think they do. This is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.
All right, so first of all, again, shout out to Jimmy Dore, speaking truth to power. But, again, you had jag-offs like TYT, Majority Report, Crystal and Kyle, smear him, lie about independent media, fail us all throughout 2021. Let's face it, when it came down to really trying to implement real change, like force the vote for Medicare for all, that could have been done something. But what did TYT and the Congressional Progressive Caucus, all those people who were on the force the vote petition, those 15 progressive lawmakers, what they do? They didn't do jack. Still asking you for money in 2020, 2021, and now in 2022. Nothing fundamentally changed. See, these politicians and the establishment media and these media outlets that carry water for the Democratic Party that are now doing this fake outrage or this pretend outrage of how upset they are at the Democratic Party for, surprisingly being, removing Roe v. Wade and still taking money from the NRA. You can't reform the Democratic Party. You had Fat Tony, Cenk Uygur, saying, donate to TYT. Who has the fucking money, buddy? Didn't you get $20 million of Katzenberg cash? You should have like a rainy day fund. By the way, whatever happened to that $2 million for that Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse journalistic investigative team that you had? Huh. Let's have democracy in the chat here real quick. Doing democracy in the chat. In fact, maybe you know what? I'm going to defer to you, audience. Type 3 if you know what happened to that $2 million for that investigative journalist fundraising thing that they did. Type 4 if you're like, well, I don't know, Kit. Because I kind of want to know too. Look, the censorship is very real towards independent media. And YouTube, as we covered on yesterday's show with Lainey Peterson, please check out that video after the show because we clipped it. YouTube has made it very clear, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well, that they're going to support authoritative sources. Now, I want to point this out too. If you're not following Case Study QB on Twitter, please do so. But if you're going to check out his account on incognito mode, unfortunately, his account has been just like, you have to log in to view his content. And of course, there's a big warning, like you have to be above 18 years old to watch Case Study QB's content. Now, what is Case Study QB posting up there that's so sensitive? Because it's not, adult oriented or it's not heavy violence. All what they are is clips from the establishment media. The establishment media that's deemed as authoritative source. Mind you, Twitter and Facebook did everything they could to prevent the Hunter Biden laptop story from being shared. Up until just a few months ago when the New York Times and Washington Post, Democracy Dies in Darkness, said that the laptop story is real. Authoritative source. YouTube, making sure its algorithm prefers Fox, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC. But again, they're liars and scumbags. This is why we need to support independent media. This is why we are so grateful for all our supporters here at Hard Lens Media. And please support all of our other fellow colleagues in independent media too, because it is real. I want to pull up we're going to play 5 minutes of this video. And again, this was covered on the Jimmy Dore show. Glenn Greenwald was a guest on Jimmy Dore's show talking about this Nicolle Wallace. Shout out to Matt Orfla, who edited this together. Matt, Glenn, I don't know how you pieced this together and how you sat through it. Clearly, you're made of stronger stuff than me. This, by far, is just a scratch to the surface of how incompetent and how sick and twisted our media is in America. Remind you, again, that the same people who own our politicians also control our media. So, get money out of politics, break the corporate media monopoly, because we're going to delve into the nightmare of a real professional liar who's a lying liar who likes to lie. Let's play this video phase. We're just going to play 5 minutes of it, though.
Near idyllic professional experience for George W. Bush.
George Bush started new wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The implementation of a torture regime.
Lying liar who likes to lie. Let's play this video phase. We're just going to play 5 minutes.
Bush, I love Bush. A near idyllic professional experience. Near idyllic professional experience for George W. Bush.
George Bush started new wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The implementation of a torture regime.
Levels of the Bush administration inside the White House.
I don't care what
Nicolle, what about the black prisons?
I don't care what
Nicolle, what about supporting right-wing groups that killed hundreds of...
I don't care what
Nicolle, people in Guatemala were not a threat to the United States. We killed 200,000 of them.
I don't care what
Nicolle,
And the notion that this somehow makes America less great is asinine.
I love Bush.
I don't care what
Nicolle,
This president started 2 wars.
I don't care what
Nicolle,
Iraq is based on false pretenses.
I don't care what
Nicolle,
It inflicted severe damage on the credibility of the United States around the world.
I don't care what
Iraq is viewed by overwhelming majorities of Americans as being a grave mistake.
I don't care what
The president himself ordered illegal surveillance on the American people.
I don't care what
I love Bush. And look, I was a communicator. I was a spinner, so I have culpability there. But
I don't care what
Nicolle,
Nicolle Wallace gets her own afternoon show on MSNBC.
you don't have a president, as you said, talking about exterminating Latinos.
Donald Trump did not talk about exterminating Latinos.
100% pants on fire.
Regular viewers know that we have been following the mysterious illness that has affected U.S. officials all around the globe called the Havana Syndrome. I've been following this with sort of a morbid curiosity for months. Explain the syndrome, who it targets.
Well, this really begins during the transition between the Obama administration and the Trump administration. And you had a veteran CIA officer who felt as if there was like a beam of energy that was following him. And so he reported it.
Hey, Mike!
Frankly, everyone was mystified. They didn't really know what to make of it. About a month later, a second incident involves that same CIA officer.
And something about the rays or the waves or the energy that was beaming towards them, it sickened them.
And what's kind of remarkable about the story is
the claims are scientifically implausible.
The mysterious Havana Syndrome. Havana Syndrome, that mysterious set of ailments known as the Havana Syndrome. People believed to have been affected have reported headaches, dizziness, and in some cases a loud noise.
Just play it for you so you can hear.
It was a lot worse earlier. It was persistent, kind of at the same level all the time.
Scientists say the sounds were crickets.
The mystery of the Havana Syndrome. It's an unexplained mystery. The mystery deepens around the Havana Syndrome, mysterious Havana Syndrome. New fears about the Havana Syndrome and the growing mystery of Havana Syndrome. What is behind the rise of those sudden attacks? There are enemies, might be weaponizing technology and attacks against U.S. officials.
To stop the destruction of this magnificent planet. This conference is one of the most important meetings in history.
Mysterious Havana Syndrome, Havana Syndrome, Havana Syndrome. The mystery deepens over the so-called Havana Syndrome, the mysterious affliction called the Havana Syndrome.
Nicolle, I'm really concerned. It's only a matter of time before maybe a senior leader gets hit with it.
Questions about whether these were the actions of a foreign adversary.
Intelligence agencies strongly suspect Russia is to blame.
The Havana Syndrome.
Russia is the leading suspect.
Havana Syndrome. Those sudden attacks, targeted attacks. These aren't attacks on people that work at museums. They're attacks on U.S. government officials. Mysterious Havana Syndrome. Beaming something to hurt people's brains. Are they acts of war?
Indeed, it could be considered an act of war.
Mysterious Havana Syndrome. Clearly acts of aggression, acts of war. If they're acts of war, why are we still debating whether they're real?
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
The White House continues after a quick break. Do not go anywhere. On Tuesday, the House passed the Havana Act, designed to provide financial support to those believed to be suffering from symptoms of Havana Syndrome.
Right, so that'll be this many dollars.
Why are we doing more? More?
Why, indeed. The attacks have stepped up. Whoever is doing this is sending a message to the United States. We can attack you at will.
We're not next to 5 minutes yet, but just wanted to say, Jiminy Cricket, how dare you? You betrayed us, Jiminy Cricket. Doing the Havana Syndrome. What? Not get the Walt Disney checks aren't enough? Now you want to side with Cuba? And the Castros? Is it not enough? Curses upon you! Bays, keep it together, my friend. Keep it together. These are all tests. When I make a joke, it's a test to make sure faces laugh. All right, let's play the rest.
We can attack you wherever we want and whenever we want, and you can't catch us.
Frank Figlizzi, we share your passion. We'll stay on this with you. Thank you, my friend. When we return, a mysterious illness known as the Havana Syndrome. A 4-year mystery, an unexplained phenomenon, Havana Syndrome. Deadline White House continues after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. The White House engulfed in a new Russia scandal. Russia offered bounties for the killing of American soldiers. Russians offered a bounty for the killing of U.S. soldiers. Russian bounties on the heads of American soldiers.
The commander of all U.S. troops in Afghanistan says Intel has not established Russia-paid bounties. Top Pentagon officials say that the Russian bounty program is not corroborated. The Department of Defense has no corroborating evidence to validate the allegations.
This mountain of evidence that we now have of Donald Trump refusing to confront Vladimir Putin about something as sacred as the lives of U.S. soldiers. Bounties placed on the heads of American soldiers. Bounties on the heads of...
I think we've gone through enough. I think this is just too much pain to go through anymore. That's an authoritative source that YouTube is supporting. Now, if we did anything like that, we'd be done off YouTube. But MSNBC has special treatment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox all have special treatment on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. These are the authoritative sources that silence out independent media. These are the authoritative sources that keep us suppressed. These are the authoritative sources that want to, again, continue to control the narrative to keep you in the dark. These are the authoritative sources that tell you that, no, we're going to think for you because, you know, they think they know better. You know, I like to mention weapons of mass destruction, Russiagate, Hunter Biden laptop, but already through that, we've gone through so many conspiracy theories and fake news stories that is being pumped to the American people. This is why we need independent media. This is why we need to break apart these corporate media outlets. Why we have to get money out of politics, abolish political parties, and build something far better. And in this environment, unfortunately, you have large outlets like TYT and Majority Report that want to smear independent media, silence the Gray Zone, Mint Press News, RT America, The Jimmy Dore Show, Hard Lens Media, Mikasu Casa Network, Convo Couch, Revolutionary Blackout Network, Frank Analysis, Jackson Hinkle, and so many others. So many others that are doing great work. You see, the thing is, at the end of the day, we here at Hard Lens Media believe all of you are capable of making your own decisions, your own choices. And that's how I want it. Because when we give you the stories here, we expect you to make your decisions your own way. Don't listen to me. And however which way you want to vote for this midterm election cycle, whether you're not going to vote or vote, that's your choice. But we got to have something far better than what's being presented to us now. Now more than ever, we need a real independent media here in America that supports free speech.